Good morning, Alabama. Trying to look at a big target this morning as we wait for the comet one more time. The M44 is about 2 degrees, just over 100 minutes, so Dwarf 3 is well suited for it. I decided to go with no filter, just visual, the way the creator intended it to be seen. So the weekend is looking promising with the Saturday night crystal clear. That might give me incentive to get the big telescope out and try to do some planetary imaging over the weekend. Okay, let's see what time Comet rises today. It's getting closer to the sun now. Estimated magnitude 1.5. Rising at 6:04, so we are unlikely to see it till about 6:10. So we have another half hour on M44 to see how much nebulosity we can get out of it. That's quite a bit later than yesterday. Yeah, 6 minutes later than yesterday. Tomorrow it'll be another 8 minutes later, which means 8 minutes closer to the sun. By Sunday it will be 6:21. Yeah, October 10 it will be starting to go around the sun. Yeah, October 10, it's gonna move into an evening comet. Nice. Yeah, they are much farther south. Yeah, 10 October it will be right behind the sun at sunset. And then it starts separating itself from the sun. By 27 October it's going to find itself in a very busy region of the Milky Way. Yeah, I don't know how much tail we will see today either. Our chance would have been last weekend and it was cloudy. It's interesting how the nebulosity is greenish for the Beehive cluster and bluish for the Pleiades. Fortunately, the Windows subsystem for Android is behaving tonight or this morning. I'm not gonna jinx it by saying we have not had any disconnects or any misbehaviors. Yesterday morning it went rogue on me and stopped passing commands from the operating system to the app, actually the other way around, stopped passing commands from the app to the operating system for transmittal to the telescope. So while DWARF 3 was happily doing its thing, WSA proved to be the stumbling block between them. So I did what we are taught to do, reboot the system. Turn it off, turn it on. Talking about the laptop here. Good morning, Tariq. Tariq, if you're watching on a large screen as opposed to a cell phone, you may wish to set the resolution to the highest possible, because we are transmitting this image in 4K, and it should be going 4K as an 8 megapixel resolution all the way from DWARF to your computer. We heard concerns from our Scottish friends that YouTube was degrading the image that DWARF 3 was taking. So we took measures to fix the problem. Yeah, 2K and 2.5K is good. You may not tell the difference on Messier 44, but 2 nights ago we were looking at Messier 1, M1, the Crab Nebula, and it made a big difference. We could see the little thin lines inside the nebula. It looked beautiful. I'd like to spend more time on M1, but DWARF 3 is not the ideal telescope. M1 is a very small target. Tariq, if you want to get technical for just one moment, to get it 4K, could not find a tablet that will do 4K, but certainly I can find a computer monitor, a big screen that will do 4K. Then the question became, how do we get it out of DWARF, which is 4K, 8 megapixels? How do we get it onto the screen so we can get it out of here? The good news is the DWARF lab engineers were responsive to my request to allow me to ignore Bluetooth when there is no Bluetooth, because Microsoft insists that they will not pass Bluetooth to any virtual machine running on Windows. That is for whatever reason, that's a decision that they made. So DWARF Lab indeed accommodated our request, and now by connecting the Wi-Fi of the computer to the Wi-Fi of by using DWARF as the hotspot and connecting the computer to it, the virtual machine running inside WSA automatically borrows that Wi-Fi connection and goes straight to the DWARF. The only thing remaining was to be able to install directly into the virtual machine, and DWARF Lab allowed us to do that. No, it's not complicated. I like to make it sound complicated because I spent so much time to get it to work. You know the story of the guy who took his car to the mechanic. The car not working, mechanic opened the hood, found the screw inside, tightened it, and said, that'll be $175. He said, $175 for tightening a screw? He said, no. It's $1 for tightening the screw, it's $174 for knowing which screw to tighten. If you need help getting things done with your setup, please ask. If I have an answer, I'll give you the answer and save you the time. And then going from the 4K screen onto the YouTube stream, OBS Studio allowed me indeed to go 4K. Now the only remaining challenge was selecting the frames per second. And since this is like watching paint, nothing is changing very fast, I decided to go with 10 frames per second, but increase the frequency on the audio, so there'll be minimal delay. Are you using a flip phone, Toast and Loaf, or a smartphone? Can you read what's written at the bottom of the screen, Tariq, with your 1080, or do you need 1440 to read it? Not that it is important, but that could be a simple test. Torsten Loaf, I was kidding. I don't think a flip phone, I don't think they make flip phones. Well, they do, but I don't think it's going to be able to receive it. Okay, good, good. One thing we had to sacrifice in this arrangement is closed captioning. But that's another whole other discussion as to why YouTube must delay the feed by up to 20 seconds for their AI engine to convert speech into text and potentially translate it into all sorts of languages. Oh, very good, Tariq, thank you. Let's see if I can find the I think this is it. Yes. No, it's not coming out nicely. Never mind. We'll go back to doing work. I tried to pull the Crab Nebula, but DWARF decided we have to go into portrait mode as opposed to landscape, so we could not get the full resolution. Torsten Lof, did you ever have a Motorola brick? The early phones that came in a bag that you had to carry around? Yes, I am older. That's why I'm enjoying retirement. Yeah, that is a joke. If you want to frustrate a group of teenagers, put them in a room with a rotary phone, an analog watch with hands, and a TV that does not have remote control. Tarek, the difference between the colors of M44 and M45 was very interesting. M45, the nebulosity looked bluish. M44, it looks greenish. Okay, we're approaching 6 o'clock, so it's time to get ready for comet hunting again. I used the skylive.com as my guide. Yesterday we had a minor problem. 3 websites gave 3 different locations for the comet. Tostenloaf, I believe they're both emission. Good morning, son. We are getting ready to get off the Beehive cluster to go look for the comet. Tarek, this is my experimenting with Dwarf 3, trying to see which targets. Come on. Looks like my my Android wants to misbehave. We jinxed it. We said earlier that it has been behaving well. Alright, let's do this in an orderly manner. This image here gives you an idea of how large the field of view is for the Beehive cluster, which makes it not a good target for Seestar S50. Okay, so far so good. Let's see if we can go to the Comet. Okay. Right ascension, 11 hours. $36. And 55 seconds. Eleven 36:55 next. Minus, how do we do minus? We need minus here. Okay. That's the problem going with 4K. The numbers are spread all over the screen. -5. Ten minutes and 19 seconds. Okay, still below the horizon. Thanks, son. You think it'll allow me to type it in? Let's try. I will try it next time. As you may have heard, I'm dealing with the complexity of running a DWARF Lab app inside a Windows subsystem for Android on Windows 11. I don't have a tablet, and I'm dealing with the idiosyncrasies of WSA. Good morning, Videsh. It is not a blank screen, it is people working. We are looking for the comet. Okay. Now the big question is, what are we looking at? This is our sunrise, and those beautiful things are clouds. So we're going to go with no filter, and we're going to be adjusting the gain, keeping the shutter at 1. And any attempt to stack yesterday failed because there are no stars. Videsh, thanks for joining us this morning. We try to go live very often, day and night. And we believe that we are the only channel on YouTube that streams in full 4K live objects from space. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe and come back often. So these are the trees we're trying to get out of. Good morning, Palus. Long time no see. Yesterday we had a clear sky and we saw the comet. Today we have clouds. We'll see. Paluz, I have not attempted to get the solar sail yet. Let me see if and when it is doable from here. Saturday night is going to be a good night to get the big scope out. Good morning, CGD. Son, we are able to track the ISS on DWARF, but all you will see is a dot. I have captured ISS in the past with smaller smart telescopes. CGD, we had luck yesterday. Paluz, yes, I saw the solar flare. They say it's the biggest in in solar cycle 25, the largest in 7 years. All right. My horizon, or the trees I should say, are 2 degrees above the horizon, so we're getting there quickly. And the other big concern is adjusting the gain. So I'm going to be making the image darker progressively. Yeah, giant X flare arriving either Saturday or Sunday. Yesterday morning we played the trick on the Comet and it paid off. Instead of sending Dwarf 3 to the Comet, we sent it to a star that was just above the Comet. So we were able to see things a bit sooner. The folks in Oswego are getting a radio telescope, and that will cut through the clouds. I'm looking forward to using it on Jupiter as the first target. Aurora lens, on what telescope is it gonna go? Or on a camera? And to those who just joined us, station identification. This is the Pompey Observatory, specializing in taking pictures of clouds, day and night. Actually, in fairness, sunrise looks nice. And this is the traffic from Boston to Chicago. Those jet contrails. Nikon, okay, good. Wilbur, at the risk of jinxing it, I finally succeeded in streaming at full 4K resolution all the way from the DWARF sensor, which is 8 megapixel, to your screen, if you have an 8 megapixel screen, without losing any pixels in between. Convinced the DWARF lab engineers to ignore the absence of Bluetooth when we launch the app inside Windows subsystem for Android. I tell you, these guys have been responsive to crazy requests quite a bit. And with every passing minute that we spend in the clouds, the sun is catching up. I still have some minor problems with it for whatever reason. Sometimes the Windows subsystem for Android ignores commands going from the app to the instrument, and then I have a disconnect when they drop some of these. I wish you were with us a couple days ago. I don't know if you were. We were imaging the Crab Nebula M1 at 4K, and the detail that came out was incredibly nice. We could see the filaments and the detail inside. And Dwarf 3 continues to amaze. I mentioned it before, it remains the only telescope on the market that you can calibrate against dark sky and send it looking for targets in bright sky. And its ability to center the targets has been very, very good. Okay, we should start seeing something. Yep, there she is. We have a comet sighting. Right above the cursor. Torsten Love don't know that we did. We did not spend much time. My intention was to try to image the crab in all three formats that Dwarf 3 allows: visual, IR, and dual band. So we only gave it a few minutes on each. Yeah, there is the comet. We are at zero gain, so we cannot go any lower. We can make the frame rate a bit faster. Yeah, I am planning a very elaborate unboxing of a cloud filter to see how many hits that video will get. Don't know if you guys saw my 3-minute video on Betelgeuse. Asked the question, has Betelgeuse gone supernova? That one I really did not spend much time planning or editing or developing. I just threw it together in a few minutes. It got 7,000 hits almost immediately. I have no idea why or how YouTube pushes things and why people click on them or not. These are the 3 filter choices that we have. Don't know if there is much oxygen 3 or hydrogen alpha in the Comet or not. Good morning, Martina. These are the colors that you are looking at. It is sunrise for us. Unfortunately, somewhere in there is a comet that we're trying to see. We saw it yesterday. But looks like we're not going to be in luck today. They have improved, Dwarf Lab has improved the interface a lot from D2 to D3. I have been fortunate enough to be involved in the beta testing of many of the features that made it into the app. And the one thing that you guys do not see are all the features that we rejected, that we tested and advised Dwarf Lab against incorporating. And many times they send us in one case, they sent us 3 different apps for the same feature and said, please test all 3 and tell us which one you like. So many things that they have tried and rejected, and many more things we tried and they kept in. Right now I am blocking the IR Torsten Loaf. Let me show you the sequence of the three filters again. This is visible filter, it's blocking the IR. This is adding the IR. And then the third one is taking everything else out except for O3 and H-alpha. Back to visible. Martina, you must not have your audio on. Well, we have quite an international audience today. Regrettably, there is no comet to see today. We saw it very, very briefly. I like your joke, thank you. The weather forecast for today, daytime is good, so we'll do some solar observing later this morning to see what the sun has in store for us. Tonight is cloudy, but beginning bright and early Saturday morning, so 24 hours from now, we're looking at crystal clear skies with good seeing, good visibility. So I'll most likely have the big telescope out Saturday night to test my new anti-dispersion, or atmospheric dispersion corrector, which I have not gotten to work yet. Torsten Loaf, tomorrow the forecast is looking good. So at this point I'm going to give the comet one final chance in this little gap. And if we do not see it, we'll play the music and then wish you all a good weekend and see you tomorrow morning. Yeah, if we have the aurora, we will have a dwarf special, dwarf 3 special. I think it's gonna, the wide angle lens will do good with the aurora. That is to be tested. Hi Andre. Well, I wish you the best with your D3. I have enjoyed mine a lot. It is adaptive optical. It is the atmospheric dispersion corrector consists of 2 prisms, and you rotate them against each other to try to realign green, red and blue that the atmosphere is dispersing. So ladies and gentlemen, so long from Pompey. My dogs have their alarm set for 6:30, so I'm going to be on dog duty very soon.